The day has finally come. It's finally time to show you guys my Techvengers theme build. If you already missed Oz's video, I'll have it linked up there. I'm doing a huge competition with OzTalksHW, Nerd on a Budget, Toasty Bros, Tech by Matt, and JDTechGear. The competition is to see who can build the best Avengers theme build. I obviously chose Thor, and I'm so excited to show this off to you guys. Let's get into it. Hey, welcome to zachstechturf. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my Thor themed build, which I actually spent a ton of time on. I'm going to walk you through some of the behind the scenes stuff and also how to vote to help me win this competition. And if you're new here, then hit that subscribe button down below and also that notification bell. That way you never miss an episode. But yeah, let's dive into this thing. This here is my Thor themed build, and I just want to throw it out there right off the bat. I spent way more time than money on this thing. In a nutshell, we could only spend $150 on the budget, and this includes anything that's aesthetic such as RGB lights, but it also includes things like glue and paint, and the PC components that are inside, they don't matter at all because as long as it turns on, you're good to go. The case that we decided to build from was about as neutral as it gets with the InWin 101, which I actually did a full review on before I mutilated it. Other than that, the rules were pretty simple. Don't go over the budget, make sure you're the one that's doing the mods so nobody else can touch it, and the only tools that we banned were 3D printers. Starting with the tour of my Thor build, I think the biggest feature here and the one that definitely took the most amount of time is the hammer and lightning effect. I used painter's tape to map out a lightning effect on the side panel. This honestly took forever to get right, and then I sprayed the entire outside with a black spray paint. After it dried, I pulled off the painter's tape and it just looked awful. I really wish I would have taken a picture of it, because all of the blue light leaked through, not just through where the lightning holes are. It just looked terrible, and I basically had to start all over. I ended up retaping the entire lightning design again, this time on the front and back side of the panel, and I painted the inside with some much thicker acrylic paint and also gave the outside a few more layers of the spray paint. When all that dried, it actually looks pretty good in my opinion. The light doesn't leak through at all now because there's so much paint on there, and I think the lightning effect looks pretty legit. Inside the case, to get all that blue light, I used some cheapo RGB fans and also a massive roll of an RGB LED strip. I also used a motherboard that had an RGB port right on there. That way I could save some money and not have to buy an RGB controller. The RGB fans right there are the only case cooling fans in the entire build. Definitely not optimized for airflow, but they have the color I wanted and they were cheap. I actually fully reviewed those too if you're interested in that. And finally, the last part of the hammer and lightning effect was just the hammer up top, and that's just a Thor Nerf hammer that I found on Amazon for 29 bucks. I sliced through the corner of it, that way it actually looks like it smashed into the case, and then I used some Gorilla Glue to secure it on there. Moving on, one of my favorite features about this build is the Thor emblem, which I actually cut from wood up here at the front. I don't think I've actually told you guys, but I do some woodworking in my spare time, and I've built a couple pieces of furniture throughout my house. I definitely had to use a printer and transfer paper to get the design that I wanted, but then I just used my saw and carefully cut this emblem out. Afterwards, I painted it with some silver craft paint that looks like the metal and it matches the hammer, and then I Gorilla Glued it out there on the front. This part was actually a huge nightmare as well. I thought the emblem was secure to the front of the case and I walked away from it, and it just fell on the ground with the glue side face down. It was covered in dog hair and there was paint smeared all over the front. This was like a 2-hour delay because it took my wife and I that long to just scrape up all the paint. It was awful. I really tried to find a metal version of this logo, so despite being wood and despite my woodworking skills not being top notch, I think it came together pretty well, and especially to add more of that stainless steel color to the theme. Speaking of which, I also uninstalled the feet at the bottom of the InWin case and painted those with the same paint that I did for the logo. I really like how that silver and black looks. It just contrasts each other so well. I probably could have got away with painting a couple more things on the build with that color, but you guys know me, I like to keep my builds super clean and super simple, so I didn't go crazy with it. I also decided to add that white Avengers sticker on there just to give it a little bit more contrast. And that's pretty much all of the modifications that I made to this thing. I personally really like how the black and blue color scheme looks, and I thought it was cool to leave the InWin LED that only goes red on there because Thor's always wearing that red cape. I actually didn't spend all of my $150 budget, mostly because I wanted to keep the design clean, so if you want to include the Thor action figure here that's that's been in a lot of the B-roll shots, he only cost me $26. Here is the entire budget and list of materials that I had to pay for, and as you can see, we easily stayed under the $150 budget. And that's pretty much it. Definitely be sure to let me know down in the comment section what you think of this build, or also what you personally would have done to this build, because there could definitely be a round 2 of this competition. Also make sure that you're subscribed to all of the other contestants from this competition, as they all posted their builds at the exact same time that I did today. Sorry about your sub box if you're subscribed to all of us. For the voting, we're actually having Mark from Scattervolt compile all of the B-roll shots into one video, that way you guys can easily see all of them, and then you're gonna vote from his channel. But his video won't be up for another week, so make sure you're subscribed to him. And guys, we're definitely gonna need a lot of help for me to win. I'm easily the smallest YouTuber here, so yeah, help me out. Finally, I wanted to thank each and every one of you for watching and let you guys know that this opportunity would not have happened without you guys. Zach's Tech Turf is gaining some serious traction as of late, and I'm super thankful for the opportunity to have a build competition with my favorite tech YouTubers. Well, that wraps up my Techvengers Thor themed build video. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed to Scattervolt, that way next week you can vote for your favorite build. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please drop a like down below to help support my channel, and as always, thank you for watching, and please subscribe for more Zach's Tech Turf videos.
I have an army. We have